Are you sick of having low self-esteem, questioning your abilities, and having a hard time when things get tough? How about I tell you that your mind is much stronger than you think, but you have to train it the right way. The famous warrior Miyamoto Musashi was very good at mental toughness. In this video, we're going to dig deep into his lessons to help you become unbreakable strong. Step 1. Expose yourself to controlled stress. Comfort doesn't make you strong. Controlled worry is what you need to do to build a mind that can't be shaken. For Musashi, real power doesn't come from avoiding problems. It comes from facing them and solving them. His whole life was a fight, inside and outside of himself, where he always pushed himself to the limit. Being exposed to worry helped him focus better, become stronger, and stay calm when things got tough. To have controlled stress, you have to put yourself in settings that push your limits in a way that you can handle. It's important not to stress yourself out so much that you lose your balance, but you do want to do things that test your mental and physical strength. This can include being out in the cold, doing a lot of tough physical training, or facing mental challenges like doing hard things or leaving your comfort zone. As an example, Musashi would often practice martial arts for hours on end, which was very hard on his body. It wasn't just about the fight itself, though. He would mentally get ready for the stress of it, knowing that being uncomfortable is a normal part of growing. Every time he fought an opponent or felt pain or tiredness, it was a chance to make his mind better. You could start exposing yourself to controlled stress by giving yourself small tasks every day. This could mean getting up early to be disciplined, taking cold showers to strengthen your body, or making tough personal goals that you have to work hard at every day. You'll get better at dealing with stress over time, and you'll find that you can handle more than you thought possible. It takes heat and hammering to make a sword sharp, and the same is true for your mind. Stress makes its strength. When you accept it, you start to change the way you think. This builds mental toughness that will help you in all parts of your life. Step 2. Practice doing nothing. Embrace stillness. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to think that being busy all the time means you're strong and productive. We've been taught to believe that being busy makes our thoughts stronger. But Miyamoto Musashi knew something very important. Being able to accept silence is what makes you mentally strong. Musashi was a fighter who was very good at battle, but he was also very good at self-discipline and inner peace. He often wanted to be alone and would meditate and think for long amounts of time. He wrote the famous Book of 5 Rings, in which he talks about how important it is to have a clear mind and be able to concentrate. This can only be done when the mind is calm and free of all other thoughts. Not doing anything is not the same as being lazy. You're giving your mind a chance to clear its thoughts and get back on track. Being still doesn't mean you're not doing anything. It means getting your mind ready to do something with full focus and presence. It means learning to be still with your thoughts, to watch them without judging them, and to get to know your inner world without being overcome by it. Musashi thought that a good fighter should be like water, calm, fluid, and able to change. To do this, you need times when everything is quiet. Your mind never has a chance to process, relax, or heal when you're constantly busy or distracted. This wears you down mentally over time and makes you more likely to feel stressed. The more still you are, the more your mind can improve itself, like a sword being sharpened on a whetstone. When you're away from the noise and chaos that keep you from reaching your full potential, your mind can really get better. Step 3. Learn to use pain as fuel. Most people try to avoid pain, even though it is one of the best ways to learn. They think of pain as bad and want to stay away from it at all costs. However, people who really work on their mental strength know that pain is not something that gets in the way of growth. This is how the famous warrior Miyamoto Musashi lived his life. He went through a lot of fights, hard times, and times of extreme pain, but he never let it break him. He used it to make his mind stronger and his spirit sharper instead. It doesn't matter if the pain is physical, emotional, or mental. You can either let it weaken you or let it push you forward. People with weak minds complain, think about their pain, and let it stop them. But people with strong minds use pain to drive them. If you fail at something, use that as a reason to get better. If someone fails you, use it as a lesson to learn how to depend on yourself. If your heart breaks, use the pain to get stronger and more focused. Musashi thought that in order to learn something, it had to hurt. Once you have set your goals, don't waste time doing nothing or thinking. This means you shouldn't think about your pain, you should do something. It will help you stay disciplined, work hard, and make a promise to become the best version of yourself. Do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" the next time you are in pain. Ask yourself, "How can this make me stronger?" Instead, pain is not your enemy. It's the best thing that can happen to you because it makes your mind stronger than you ever thought possible. Step 4. Develop the skill of instant adaptation. Life is hard to plan for. No matter how well you plan, problems will come up that you didn't expect. Being able to change quickly is what sets successful people apart from unsuccessful ones. People with weak minds don't like change, whine about their situations, and are unsure what to do when things don't go as planned. Strong minds, on the other hand, are flexible and can quickly adapt to new situations while still making the best of them. In battle, Miyamoto Musashi lived by this concept. He never stuck to one way of fighting. Instead, he watched what his opponents were doing and changed his plan to match. He was impossible to beat because he could change his strategy at any time. He thought that a fighter should never be set in their ways of thinking or acting. Instead, they should be like water and flow with the flow of what comes their way. Being flexible is a skill that can be learned. Start by facing obstacles instead of avoiding them. If something doesn't go your way, don't get angry. Instead, ask yourself, what is the best way forward? Get used to thinking about how to solve problems instead of what to do. Putting yourself in new, awkward settings is another way to get better at this skill. Go somewhere you've never been before, do something you've never done before, or switch up your daily routine. Your mind gets stronger the more you put it through situations where you have to change. Musashi said, "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. This means you should find another way if the first one is blocked." Being able to bend is power. It's impossible to stop you once you learn how to adapt quickly. Step 5. Engage in thought experiments. Like a sword, your mind needs to be sharpened all the time. Thought experiments are one of the best ways to do this because they force your brain to solve problems, predict what will happen, and think critically about things before they even happen. Musashi Miyamoto didn't just rely on his physical strength. He also trained his thinking to be ready for anything. He thought that deep thinking, planning ahead, and being able to change your mind quickly were the keys to real success in life. When you do a thought experiment, you get your mind ready for problems before they happen. Because of this, you have to plan ahead, imagine what might happen, and learn how to keep calm in stressful scenarios. Before going into fight, Musashi imagined every move his opponent could make and how he would counter it. Thoughts of victory had already been won before he even fought. As a practice, try to picture yourself in a very bad situation, like losing everything, failing badly, or being under a lot of stress. What would you do? What would you do to get back in charge? Instead of being afraid of the worst, train your mind to handle it quietly. This process improves your ability to solve problems and stops you from freaking out when real problems come up. A weak mind tries to avoid trouble, but a strong mind looks forward to it. Think tests will help you get ready for anything. The more you do them, the better. When problems arise in your life, you will not only react, but you will also act with accuracy and control, just like Musashi did. Step 6. Master the art of emotional detachment. Most people let their feelings run their lives. They act without thinking, base their choices on short-term emotions, and let bad feelings cloud their reasoning. But if you want to make your mind better than you think it is, you need to learn how to separate your feelings from your thoughts. This was very clear to Miyamoto Musashi. He thought that a warrior should never let their feelings get in the way of their reasoning, especially when they were in battle. His theory wasn't about not having any feelings. It was about being in charge of your feelings instead of letting them run your life. Detaching your emotions doesn't mean you stop feeling. It just means you stop responding to them. Picture yourself being insulted by someone. When your mind is weak, you get angry or frustrated right away. A strong mind, on the other hand, looks at things without getting upset because it knows that responding emotionally gives the other person power. A strong person doesn't let their feelings control what they do. Instead, they stay calm and answer clearly. Take charge of your feelings, or they will take over you, Musashi wrote. He knew that being angry, scared, or frustrated during battle could make him lose his cool and make mistakes. The same rule holds true in real life. You will never take chances if you let fear rule your life. You will never get better if you let sadness take over your life. When you are angry, you will do things you later wish you hadn't. Practice pausing before responding to get better at emotional detachment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? When something sets you off. Over time, you'll train your mind to stay calm no matter what, which will make you stronger than most people. Step 7. Surround yourself with mentally tough people. You think, act, and deal with problems based on the people you spend the most time with. Putting yourself around mentally strong people who push you to grow instead of hold you back is the best way to build an unbreakable mind. This was something that Miyamoto Musashi knew a lot about. He went after the toughest fighters not only to beat them but also to learn from them. Against the best, he knew that he had to beat himself to become a master. Take a look at the people around you. Are they controlled, focused, and strong? Or do they whine, make excuses, and avoid hard times? People with weak minds drain your energy and change the way you think in subtle ways. It's harder to grow when they plant seeds of doubt, fear, and bad things. But if you hang out with mentally tough people, their strength will rub off on you. Their focus challenges you, their discipline motivates you, and their toughness pushes you to do more. Not only do you have to work hard to build a strong mind, but you also have to surround yourself with the right people. Look for people who are driven, focused, and not afraid of facing problems. Have talks that make you think, hang out with people who have been through a lot, and learn from those who won't settle for average. Like Musashi, who always matched himself against the best, you need to be around people who make you better. By doing this, you will build an attitude that is stronger than you thought possible.